There comes a moment in every person's life when the world hits them so hard they're left gasping, jaw clenched, eyes wide, frozen between the instinct to run and the craving to rise. That moment is not punishment. It's not a curse. It's a test, a divine checkpoint, a furnace built to reveal the steel or the straw inside you. And in that moment, most people flinch. They recoil when life gets loud. They buckle under pressure, retreat into comfort, drown in complaints, and call it fate. They wait for the storm to pass rather than learning how to stand inside it. But what they don't realize, what you must realize, is that greatness doesn't come to those who flinch. It comes to those who build themselves into someone who doesn't. Because the truth, the unspoken law of this world, is simple. You will be tested. You will be ignored before you're admired, doubted before you're believed, ridiculed before you're praised. And if your mind crumbles under the weight of criticism, of rejection, of uncertainty, then no strategy, no talent, no opportunity will save you. Because the world does not yield to the faint of heart. It yields to those whose minds are forged in fire. It yields to those who don't flinch. Now understand this. You were not born with a weak mind, but you were conditioned to have one. From the moment you could walk, they told you to play safe. Fit in, avoid failure, don't dream too big, don't take it personally, blend into the crowd, follow the rules, follow the herd, be realistic. And every time you swallowed those words, a piece of your power went silent. But your mind is not concrete, it's clay. It can be reshaped, reforged, rewired. The same way steel is hardened through flame and impact, your mindset can be made unbreakable. But it requires intention, it requires pain, and above all, it requires choosing discomfort over numbness, discipline over ease, purpose over popularity, again and again and again. Ask yourself, who are the ones remembered in this world? Were they the ones who flinched at failure? Who folded at the first sign of resistance? No. They were the ones who stared chaos in the eye and said, "You move, I don't." Lincoln buried child after child and faced a nation divided, but he didn't flinch. Edison failed over 10,000 times trying to create the light bulb. He didn't flinch. Ford was laughed out of boardrooms when he proposed the V8 engine. He didn't flinch. Disney was fired for lacking imagination and still didn't flinch. Hill himself faced poverty, rejection, ridicule, but kept going because he understood power belongs to the resilient. But how do you build that kind of mind? It begins with belief, not in something external, but in yourself. Not the version of you that's been bruised by the past, but the version buried beneath it. The version waiting for you to step forward and become. Belief is not a feeling, it's a discipline. It's waking up when there's no applause. It's committing to the process even when results are invisible. It's pushing through discomfort not because it feels good, but because purpose is stronger than pain. That's belief. And belief fuels clarity. Most people have noisy minds. They're consumed by distractions, drowning in opinions, suffocated by the need for approval. They say they want success, but their actions worship comfort. They say they want to win, but flinch the moment it costs something. But you, if you want to rise, must become clear. Ruthlessly clear. Not just about what you want, but who you must become to earn it. Clarity gives direction. It silences the noise. When your vision is crystal, petty distractions become invisible. When you're locked in, opinions lose their grip. Because the flinching mind is easily pulled by fear, by shame, by doubt. But the focused mind is anchored, and from clarity comes vision. Vision is not a wish, it is a demand. It is the invisible structure that precedes reality. Every skyscraper you see began as a drawing. Every fortune was once an idea. Every revolution started in the mind of someone who refused to accept the way things were. You must see it here, before the world ever will. Because if you cannot envision your rise, you will not survive the fall. You must hold the vision tighter than you hold your excuses. You must cling to it through rejection, through loneliness, through betrayal, through every season of silence where nothing makes sense. Because that's where transformation lives. That's where your mind either flinches or fortifies. But vision without purpose is just fantasy. Purpose is your why. And without a why, you will surrender the moment the how becomes hard. Purpose is the deeper flame. It does not flicker when winds blow. It's the unexplainable force that makes some people stand back up after every loss, while others stay down after one. Purpose is the invisible oath you take when no one's watching. It's the contract you sign with your future self, the one that says, "I will not quit. Not now, not ever." The mind that doesn't flinch is not emotionless. It feels every blow, but it's anchored in purpose, and that makes it immovable. And what keeps purpose alive? Discipline. Not the kind of discipline they preach in textbooks. Not rigid schedules and color-coded calendars. I'm talking about soul discipline. The kind that shows up when your energy is gone. The kind that moves when motivation dies. The kind that says, "I made a decision, and I'm honoring it whether I feel like it or not." You must become addicted to following through. Because every time you do what you said you would, you build trust in yourself. You become reliable. And the world respects those who respect their own word. Most people flinch because they don't trust themselves. They talk more than they do. They set goals they never pursue. They negotiate with fear and call it logic. But you, if you want to rise, must become your own general. When you say go, you go. When you commit, you complete. That is how you build a mind that doesn't break in battle. And when the actions become relentless, the noise fades. When the habits become sacred, the world starts to shift. Because discipline is how you summon success, not chase it. It's not the flash, the drama, the hype. It's the quiet victories, the cold mornings, the lonely nights, the battles no one sees but everyone eventually feels. And through it all, you remain still, focused, unmoved. Action is the great separator. The line between those who merely hope and those who become. Everyone has dreams, but few ever move. Fewer still persist. And only the rarest become so consistent, so relentless, so unshakable in their execution that they become unstoppable. You don't build an iron mind through intention alone. You build it through motion. Repeated, consistent, purpose-fueled motion. The world will always admire the thinker, but it will follow the one who moves. Because movement is a signal. It tells the universe you're serious. It tells your subconscious, this is who I am now. Not someone who waits. Not someone who hesitates, but someone who builds, even when it's hard, even when it's dark, even when nothing seems to be working. There is no mastery without action, no greatness without sweat, no transformation without repetition. One swing of the hammer doesn't break the stone. It's the 100 that came before, the silent ones, the lonely ones, the unnoticed ones, that made the final blow matter. So move, even if your voice shakes. Even if your hands tremble, even if no one believes in you yet, because movement creates momentum, and momentum makes fear irrelevant. But don't just act. Act with gratitude. Yes, gratitude, because a flinching mind sees adversity as punishment, but a resilient mind sees adversity as refinement, and gratitude is the difference. Most people only give thanks when life is soft, when things go their way, when they get what they want. But the strongest among us, they give thanks in the fire. They understand the pressure is the privilege, the pain is the prerequisite, the test is the teacher. Gratitude isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the ability to see clearly even when the world tries to blur your vision. You think Carnegie rose to power without pressure? That Rockefeller built empires without resistance? That Hill wrote truth without facing ridicule, rejection, or ruin? No, they endured storms, and they gave thanks, not because it felt good, but because they knew every hardship was shaping them. Every setback was sculpting the steel inside. Gratitude isn't about smiling through suffering. It's about recognizing that everything, even the chaos, is serving your evolution. When you understand that, you don't flinch. You nod. You breathe. You build. And with gratitude, you gain adaptability. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Life doesn't care about your plans. It will break them. It will mock them. It will rearrange the board the moment you think you've figured out the game. The rigid mind fractures under pressure. The adaptable mind bends, pivots, evolves, and keeps moving. To build a mind that doesn't flinch, you must release the illusion of control. You don't control the timing. You don't control the outcome. You don't even control what the world throws at you. but you always control how you respond. Let go of the need for everything to go your way. Replace it with the commitment to rise either way. That's the mark of a warrior. That's the DNA of a builder. That's the seed of greatness. That's power. And it grows even stronger through resilience. Resilience isn't a trait, it's a habit. A decision you make every time life says no, and you answer, "Watch me." It's waking up after the failure and trying again. It's believing again after the betrayal. It's pushing forward without applause. It's standing back up when every bone in your body says, "Stay down." Think of a boxer. The great ones don't win because they never get hit. They win because they know how to absorb, adjust, and keep throwing punches. They take the hit. They don't flinch. You want to build a powerful life? Then build a powerful recovery. Learn how to recover faster than most people fall. That's resilience. Because when the average person collapses, you'll calibrate. When they give up, you'll level up. When they question their path, you'll deepen your purpose. And over time, the gap will widen. Not because you had more talent, but because you refused to break. And in the cracks where others fall, you'll rise. But resilience without learning is just repetition of pain. That's why the most powerful minds are always in a state of evolution. They don't just survive adversity, they study it. They ask, what is this moment here to teach me? What truth am I avoiding? What growth am I resisting? Weak minds avoid reflection. Strong minds seek it. They journal, they listen, they sit in silence, they evaluate their habits, question their stories, and course-correct with humility, not ego. They don't flinch from self-awareness, they welcome it. Because the most dangerous enemy is not out there. It's in here. The blind spots, the false beliefs, the old scripts that play like broken records in the background of your life. I'm not enough. I'll never make it. It's too late for me. But when you study yourself, when you examine, confront, and rewire, you rewrite the program. You don't flinch because you no longer carry the lies that made you weak. You walk lighter, stand taller, think clearer, and the world begins to respond, not to your words but to your energy, not to your image but to your identity. You become calm in chaos, the stillness in storms, the one who doesn't blink when others fall apart, because you've earned it, not through luck, but through daily practice. This is the way of the unshakable, the way of those who rise not once but forever. They understand the mind is a garden, and every day something grows. You either plant strength or you let weakness creep in. You either cultivate discipline or you invite distraction. You either build from intention or crumble from impulse. Flinching is a habit, but so is stillness. So choose carefully what you water. Choose ruthlessly what you feed. And remember this. The world does not reward the emotionally reactive. It rewards the composed, the focused, the disciplined, those who can hear noise but not be moved by it, see rejection but not be defined by it, face fear but not be ruled by it. Because at the end of it all, your mind is the battlefield, and you either win it or lose to it. But no one else can fight for you. You must understand this. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past. You are not your failures, your doubts, or your scars. You are the architect of your mind, and the mind builds the man. If you continue to let the outside world dictate your inner world, you will always be a servant to circumstance. But the moment you decide, truly decide, that nothing will shake you, that is the moment you become free. You will still feel pain, but you won't collapse. You will still face resistance, but you won't retreat. You will still hear doubt, but you won't believe it. Because something deeper will have awakened. A new identity forged not in comfort, but in fire. There is a version of you, already alive in spirit, who does not flinch. They walk into the storm with purpose in their eyes. They don't lower their standards just to keep the peace. They don't hesitate when opportunity knocks. They don't shrink when the world pushes back. This version of you does not seek permission. They do not beg for validation. They do not outsource their self-worth to opinions. They are forged, focused, fierce. They speak less and do more. They show up when it's hard. They rise when it's dark. They command the direction of their life, not with noise but with presence. But you do not meet this version of you by accident. You must become them through daily, deliberate, disciplined practice. Every time you don't react, you're building them. Every time you follow through, you're feeding them. Every time you walk with clarity and composure, you are them. So don't ask for the path to get easier. Ask to get stronger. Don't pray for less resistance. Train for more resolve. Don't seek a life without storms. Learn to become the storm. You were never meant to live soft. You were never meant to shrink for the comfort of others. You were born with fire, purpose, and the divine capacity to bend reality to the strength of your will. But only if your mind is prepared. Prepared to endure what most avoid. Prepared to focus while others drift. Prepared to speak truth in rooms full of noise. Prepared to act with power, presence, and peace, no matter what comes. The mind that doesn't flinch is not born. It is forged. It is trained. It is earned. And once you earn it, no one, nothing, ever takes it from you. Because you'll have stepped into a rare league. The few who lead from within. The few who are steady in the face of chaos. The few who command respect not by force, but by presence. This is not just about success. This is about freedom. Mental, emotional, spiritual freedom. The freedom to move without fear, to think without noise, to lead without apology, to live without limits. The freedom to look adversity in the eye and say, "You may shake the world, but not me." And so I leave you with this. The world will test you. It will challenge your patience, your values, your grit. People will doubt you, delay you, misunderstand you. Circumstances will rise like waves, crashing hard, relentless and loud. But the choice will always be yours. Do you flinch or do you fortify? Do you react or do you rise? Do you crumble or do you command? Let your answer echo in every decision. Let it shape your mornings, guide your words, ground your breath. Let it be carved into the way you show up when no one is watching. You were never meant to blend in. You were built to withstand, to overcome, to lead. So build it, train it, own it. Build the mind that doesn't flinch, and the world will never see you the same again.